It's time for another scrumptious segment of Good Old Times Cooking here on Cook Central. But before we dive into these delectable treats from the past, let us first meet our favorite and only hostess over 80, Miss Agatha Wagley. Oh.
Thank you, and good evening. Welcome to another segment of Good Old Times Cooking, where the treats of my generation become the treats of your generation. Before we begin our program today, I would like to acknowledge a new member of our crew family, Frederick Baggles, who has come out of retirement to film our show and manage technical equipment. Today we have a special treat honoring one of our great presidents who will be departing from office this November, our 54th president, Mr. George W. Bush. In addition to making a special treat honoring our president, we will also have a live chat with him from his home in Washington, D.C.
Vroom, vroom. Come in, Lieutenant Commando to G.I. Joe. Vroom, vroom,
Mr. President! Mr. President!
Oh, howdy.
Why, hello, Mr. President. Thank you so much for agreeing to participate in our program this evening.
My pleasure. I help you out by appearing on your show, and you help me out by voting for Dick Cheney this upcoming November.
I hope you're aware, Mr. President, that the Republican Party has already decided upon John McCain. Dick Cheney didn't even run.
Oh, forget that. It's back to Lieutenant Joe for me. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
I have just been informed via teleprompter from our executive producer that we will be taking a short commercial break. Hello, Mr. Fudington. What seems to be the problem?
The George Bush incident is already being broadcasted by news stations across the country, and our show's taking the blame for it.
The show can't be blamed for this incident. Our program has had honorable guests on before.
But unfortunately, audiences weren't watching before tonight. It seemed all my approaches to the program ended up gathering low ratings, and the network threatened to cancel us unless I brought in something big. Well, I went for as big as we could get it, the President of the United States of America, and it looks like it added to our problems. The network is allowing us to finish the program tomorrow night after George Bush has apologized. If the George Bush cookies aren't a success tomorrow night, the network is pulling the plug.
We can't allow this to happen. Mr. Fulington, I swear on my dentures, our George W. Bush cookies will be the best thing to ever happen to this show. I will make the recipe sound so mouth-watering and stomach-growling that viewers won't help but tune in. Heck, we'll even beat out Elvis's comeback show in ratings. Instead of shaking their hips to rock songs, people all around the world will be cooking up a batch of George W. Bush cookies while saying,
I love the spirit, Aggie. My vision will become a reality when the camera rolls tomorrow night. Let us first meet the hostess responsible for keeping the past alive, Miss Agatha Wagley.
Tonight we will begin the show in a different manner due to some setbacks from my previous program. Instead of introducing a new scrumptious treat, we will resume where we left off and dive into our featured treat, George W. Bush cookies. But before we can eat these goodies, we must prepare the proper ingredients. So tell those tummies to stop growling and tell those ears to start listening. In addition to these indulging ingredients, we will be using some non-edible items for decoration. Once we finish these cookies, they will be topped with the exotic blue feathers of an Amazon toucan. The toucan featured in tonight's program died of natural causes in the Amazon, and we will be using his feathers in memory of him. Oh, no! Oh, my goodness! Help!
Here I come, here I come. I'll save you. Away, you hard duck.
Help me! Oh, my goodness, my dentures! Oh, no! Help! Help me! Oh, you family! Holy poop! At this point, I would recommend finding another source for blue decoration.
Are you alright, Miss Wagley?
I think so. Thank you, Isaac. But it would be helpful if you could...
Oh, well, I better be getting back to some good Game Boy.
Would blue sprinkles be acceptable? You can top these cookies with whatever your little heart desires. But since we don't have blue sprinkles with us, let us move on to our next ingredient. A half a box of pure white sugar. First, you take the box of sugar and you begin to pour it. Let's have a taste, shall we? Oh my goodness! Patooey, patooey, patooey! What in good grace!
Why do you want this damn flour?
Veronica! Everyone, I would like to introduce my spunky and somewhat radical sister, Veronica.
Radical? You call trying to fit in with this young generation radical? Heck, it's become clear and apparent that this young generation ain't gonna show me no respect. So if I can't beat them, join them. I wanna get down with my dogs, chill with my homies, cruise with my peeps, and above all, keep it fresh.
Never say that again. I see you brought the flour. Why, thank you, Veronica.
Don't mention it.
Now that we have our flour, that's all the time we have today on this segment of Good Old Times Cooking.
Wonderful news, Aggie. We're a smash hit.
What? How is that possible?
I'll explain. After the George Bush incident, our show got a lot of attention from the media and the public found out about it. So, when they found out we were going to do a comeback special from the George Bush incident, they tuned in to see what our program was all about. And they loved it. The spontaneity of events, Isaac playing his Game Boy, half of the staff being asleep and over 80.
So basically what you're saying is, no matter what we did tonight, our show would have been successful?
Basically, yes. But if there was no motivation on the set in order to bring the special back, nothing would have gotten done. Now I better get playing on the next episode.
Oh well, all's well that ends well. I should probably finish these cookies. Maybe later I'll go to a bakery or ShopRite or Stop and Shop or something.